Morning everyone, Matthew here, Matthew's Land Clearing. I'm over at my machine where I keep it at storage, and today I'm going to be replacing the bearing on this mulcher head. The other side, I replaced it last week and it was in shambles. All the bearings were gone. For one reason, Caterpillar didn't tell me how much grease I should put in there, and I was putting a little bit of grease in there and obviously not enough. So over the course of 2.5 years, the bearing finally failed and it was dry. And also when I opened the side compartment up like this, all the bolts holding the bearing in there were gone except one, which I probably should have checked it periodically just to see what it looks like in there, but I failed to do that. So if you do have a mulcher, check your inside of these compartments every once in a while to see if everything's good. Also, anyway, I was going to show you a picture of the bearing that I took out and a picture of the what it looks like when I open up the compartment. So let me do that. Hold on 1 minute. This is what my bearing looked like when I took it out. Here's a part of the race, and all these bearings. These are the individual bearings. This is how dry it was. I did about a job and a half with it like this. I greased it up so good that I guess I survived. Couldn't believe I got that far. But let me show you what my new bearing looks like. This is what a bearing should look like when it's new. And so that's what I'm going to be putting on today. Okay, the first step I'm going to do is take this panel off. Got an impact wrench. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. Don't lose your bolts. Make sure they're tight. Every once in a while, check them, because they will come out, all the vibrations. Okay, so let's take a look at what this looks like on the inside here, just to do a quick inspection before I get started. Looks like there's one bolt missing somewhere. And what is this in here? Get this thing out. What? Don't know what this is, but I'm going to find out. So that's one thing. It's something wrong. But this is the belt, runs it. Looks like it needs to be tightened anyway. I should have been checking this more often. But second step I'm going to take, down in here is where your tension is. Right here, that's how you loosen the belt up. Here's your two lines that you grease. One's going into this housing here. The other one goes into your bearing. So I'm going to be loosening up this bolt, undoing the tension, and taking the belt off. So that's the next step. Alright, before we get into it and do anything, we've got these adjusters for the belt tension. There's one on the top and one on the bottom. Can't really see it, but it's down there. It's all muddy and greasy and dirty. They've got to be loosened before we can get the belt off. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I couldn't get the belt tensioner loose. So what I'm doing now is taking this pulley off. I purchased 4 bolts that will go in the same holes as these bolts go in that came out, and actually I used the ones next to the holes because I didn't want to use the same holes you put it on with, just in case something happened. But slowly but surely I'm turning these bolts in, and it's taking the pulley off. You don't want to go too many turns at once because it'll make it cockeyed. You'll never get it off. So just little by little, each one, and it'll press it out. Okay, that's how you do that. Okay, I've got the pulley off, and I've got this collar here that comes off that the bolts screw into. It tightens everything up. You can see that. That's going to come off. This is the pulley. It is one heavy sucker. So I'm going to lay this on the ground right here. Alright, remember that piece I found when I first started? This thing was laying down. It goes right up here, and that keeps this shaft that operates the movement of this cover that goes up and down hydraulically. If you can see that, yeah, that holds this in. So I'm going to put that back on right now. And the next job is to take these bolts out, disconnect this grease line, and then use 2 bolts here and 1 here, and that'll take this off. And then all these right here hold the bearing in to this. So actually I'll probably take these off first. Now I did the other side, but you know, I'm not the expert mechanic on this. The first time I've done this side, so I think it's going to go well. Just got to keep going. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take this housing off first. This holds the outer bearing in, keeps all the grease in. So I'm going to take this off first. Okay, there's one. Hopefully these don't strip out. I think I'll put some WD-40 on these real quick. Maybe it'll penetrate some. Get these things out of here. So I don't want to drill them out, because I had to do that to the other side. I don't want to do that on this side. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Let's try this. Probably a bad idea, but I'm going to try this impact wrench. Maybe I'll break them loose real quick. Get these in here. That's what I thought. Just rounded that one out. I'll have to drill that one out. Let's try this one. Yep, these are all going to be messed up. All right. Let's put this in really good. Okay, got that one loose. Let's try this one. Got that one. WD-40 really helps. All right, time to drill a couple out and get an easy out and get those out. Okay, I got this easy out toolkit at Harbor Freight, and probably use number 3 to get these bolts out. I've only got 2 to get out, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Drill them out and put that easy out, and they should come right out. Okay, here we go. Drill this one. And these bits that come with the kit are not good, so I'm gonna grab my own bits. Try this again. Okay, I got my own bit now, so I'm gonna drill this out. It pays to get good stuff. Harbor Freight has good stuff, but not everything is good. A little bit more. Okay, I got that one drilled. I'm gonna drill this one out. All right, let's put the easy out on there. Okay. Put it reverse. All right, we got that bolt out. I think I'm gonna have to use some channel locks to get this off. Okay, got that bolt off. I'm gonna get this one. Let's get this right here. Okay, now let's try it. Try the old-fashioned way. I got the old vice grips out. That drill is not working on this one, so I'm gonna put this on. Get this going here. Okay. Well, I finally got that last bolt out. It's giving me a hard time, so I had to drill a bigger hole in the bolt and use a different easy out, and I got it out. All right, next step is to take all these out because I can't press this out. So that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, I'm disconnecting the grease line. They're 9/16. This should be a lot easier now. Alright, got that loose. Put some WD-40 on this too. Make it a lot easier. Alright, got the line off. I'm going to take this off the housing. Connect it back to the line so I don't lose it. Okay, now I take my impact wrench. I've got some, get this off. Alright, gonna find my big socket. All right. Big bolt number 1. Big bolt number 2. Make sure the washers are with them because the washers will come out. Don't lose them. Okay, got the washer at that one. Washer with that one. That one. That one. Okay. And before I do all this, taking it out, I'm gonna put my jack under here to support this shaft under here. Okay. Get the pressure off. Alright, got the pressure off. So, it's just a matter of getting this housing off. Seems to be coming pretty easy. Let's see if this bearing will come off easy. This would be great compared to the other side I did when I had to cut the race off the shaft because it got so hot that it welded it to it. This one seems to be coming off pretty easy. So let me get a couple of things to get this off with. Okay. Just for information, there are 2 bolts you can stick in there, which I'm going to go get. Okay, I got the 2 bolts that I'm going to use. I'm going to run them through this here. Get them started. Get my 1/2-inch socket. Okay, I don't want to use the impact wrench on these. Get them started. You'll be in real big trouble. Let's see if I think I got to get my 7/8 out of my. Okay. Yeah, they're 7/8 bolts. So get these in here. Put some more WD-40. Clean this out some. Okay. Must not be the right size. Okay, before I take this housing off, got the 2 bolts in to pull it out. There's a retaining ring in here, so I'm going to get that out now. Had to go buy me one. Okay, I've got my retaining ring puller. I'm gonna grab this sucker and should be enough to get this thing off. Might have to get a different tip to get it all the way off because I can't seem to. Must not be using different tips. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think I got the right tips now, so let's try it now. And I don't have the right tips. Okay, I'm gonna pull the retaining ring out now, and let's see, get this thing hooked in there. And get a little screwdriver in there to help it out. These pliers don't go out far enough. I'm afraid I might have to get another pair. It won't work. Let's see. Let me get another screwdriver. Okay, I got the retaining pliers now. I'm gonna put the pliers in here where the retaining ring is, extend it out, put a screwdriver in here to help get it past the point where it needs to go, so I can get this thing out of here. That didn't work. It's not spreading them far enough. Let's see, I got a half most of the way. Let's see if I can use this screwdriver to get the rest of it off. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get this thing out of here. Okay, got a little tool here. It might help get this thing off. Okay. It's just a matter of sliding it off, I think. Let's try this. Come on. Just wiggle it out until it comes. There we go. Alright, it's out. Now the bearing should come out pretty easy, I would think. I've got to use these to do the rest of it. So let's... Let's put this in the right place. Finally got it broke off. All right, it is off. Let's see what we got here. It's part of the seal. We got this ring here. It goes on the inside. Spacer. Okay, once you get the bearing housing out, the bearing, turn it upside down and push against it. The bearing should just squeeze out of there. A little difficult, more than I was expecting. As you can see, the bearing is coming out. It's just a matter of getting it the rest of the way. Sticking your hand down here. I have to do something different to get the rest of it out. Okay, everyone, got the new bearing in here, put some grease in it already, and I'm ready to put it all back together. I've cleaned the shaft off real good, and inside here where a lot of debris was, and so we're ready to go back together. So I'm going to slide this on. Okay, that's about as far as you can go before you got to start pressing it on with the bolts. So that's my next step. Okay, I've got a step here that I got to put a new seal in this housing that goes over the bearing, keeps the grease in. Grease goes in this slot here. Okay, I've got this piece. It's the cover for the bearing, and I've got to put a new seal in it. I've already taken the old one out, and I'm going to press this one in. It goes in pretty easy. When I get that in, I'll continue. To get this new seal in, you can use the old seal on top of the new one, and you can tap it down in where it goes. And it is in. Got the new seal in. Ready to go. Alright, next step is to, once you get the housing on, the bearing is going to be sticking out. And you're going to put all these bolts in that hold the housing in. Make sure you got the washers. Make sure that the grease fitting is on this side where this goes in. You don't want to have it over here and have to take it all apart. So make sure that's over here. Okay. Next step, get the housing cover. Which is right up here. And you're going to need some long bolts. So let me get those real quick. Okay, as you can see, I'm all set up to install this bearing and press it in. I've got long bolts, not the ones that go in this, but the ones that are in this are really short. But I've got some really long bolts, some spacers, and some washers, because when you press it on, you're going to need to be able to increase the washer amount to get it pressed all the way on. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Get the right socket on here. .13mm. So I'm going to continue to press it on. I'm going to stagger the bolts going on. Get this one started a little bit more, because it's not actually doing anything right now. And I'm going to get a longer socket. What was that? Okay, here we go. Just a little bit of a turn each time. Okay, that's what you do until it's all the way in. Okay, I'm ready to put the housing back on. Remember to put this spacer in here, the beveled side in. Then put this, when you start the bearing here, it's gonna go in like that. Attach these bolts where they go. Also, make sure that your grease fitting is going to go down here where it goes. Don't forget that. Once you get the housing on here, it's going to be hard to get back off. Going to do the repeat process, so just make sure that that hole there where the fitting is on that side. Don't make the same mistake I did and forget that ring, because I've already started putting this housing on and putting this bearing, and I forgot to do that step, so I'm back doing that part first again. I've already got this on here, so I'm going to see if I can attach this without having to reattach everything. So this is what I'm doing. Okay, I've got the bearing in and the C-clip. All these are tight. So now I'm going to install this line, grease line, and when I'm done with that, I'll let you know. Okay, I've got the grease line attached. Now I'm going to install the cover. And there's a pin right here and this hole right here. They go together. Make sure it's all lined up. And the screws go in here. Okay, I've got the housing cover and on the grease zerk. All these are tight. And by the way, I did use, to get the bearing on all the way so I could get that C-clamp, I used the old bearing and pressed it on with long bolts about this long, and put some spacers on here until I could get it to where it would seat in there so far that the C-clamp would catch. So I had to do that. Just a little explanation how I got that bearing all the way on, because it's pretty tough. Now I'm going to put that back on, and this pulley, put this back on. This is gonna go on. Like that. But let me get it on there and I'll get back with you. Okay, I've got the belt rotor on. What do you call this thing? Don't even know what it's called. Okay, I've got the belt drive wheel on, and I'm going to tighten this up. And it requires it's beveled, so it's really loose right now. But once I get the, I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. But once you tighten these up, the bevel tightens up on the shaft. And I'm just going to tighten up, just snug them up. I can put the belt on. And then I'm going to turn the machine on, put the belt on, make sure it's running true, and then I'll tighten everything up. This is a process when you've never done it before, and you want to tackle it. It's not easy. I'm definitely not an expert at it. So if you leave any comments, let me know what I could do different. And if you have any questions, just put a comment down there and I'll try to respond to you. Okay, now they got the tensioners loose. Now I can put this belt on. Look how easy that goes. I was doing it the hard way. So now, get up here and I'm gonna bring this belt back, and then you're going to put some tension on it first. Make sure this pulley is going to be on all the way. So I'm going to get a block of wood, and it looks like the belt's more this way than this way, so I'm going to knock this in. And that should be right in the middle. So now it's all lined up. All I gotta do is tighten up these bolts, tighten up the tensioners, and we should be good to go on the belt. And all we gotta do is put the cover on, test it out. And I did turn the mulcher head, and the drum, and it does turn freely. So the bearing is seated correctly, and we are good to go. There's one bolt there and one bolt on the other side of this gearbox, and also these adjusters, tension adjusters. There's two of them, and they have to be turned all the way out to be able to get this belt on. So until you do that, you will never get this belt on. Okay, I am done putting the belt on. I've tensioned it up. The belt tensioners, both sides, tightened both up, both bolts. The belt shouldn't be extremely tight because it'll wear your bearings out quicker. So there should be a little play in it. Tightened all these bolts up, and all I gotta do now is put this cover on and grease it up. And let's see here. Get up here and look at this real quick. Okay, there's two grease zerks on the outside, and can be confusing sometimes, but these two grease zerks, okay, the top one on my machine, it greases the bearing in here. The other grease zerk greases this shaft right here. I can get out of the sun. Right here. So we want to make sure you grease them both really good, mainly the main bearing, and you won't have any problems later on. So this is how you do a bearing change on a Caterpillar mulcher head. There are some out there that are similar to it. So anyway, it's taken me, I don't know, about 6 hours to do this job, maybe 7. Going to get parts, bolts, getting washers on, doing, making some mistakes and going back and redoing it. But that's how you do it. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.